Obedience. The word itself might make you think of rules and restrictions, but true obedience is so much more than simply following orders. It is an act of trust, a surrender to a power greater than ourselves, a deep alignment with the heart of God. Imagine a sailboat on the vast ocean. Without a sail, it's at the mercy of the winds and waves. But when the sail is raised in obedience to the wind's direction, something beautiful happens. The boat finds its purpose, gliding across the water with grace and power. Obedience is like that sail. It allows us to tap into a divine force, guiding us toward a life of purpose and meaning. When we choose to obey God's word, we are not limiting ourselves but unlocking a world of possibilities. We are aligning ourselves with the source of all blessings. Think of obedience as a spiritual strategy. It's not about blind faith. It's about actively choosing to align our lives with God's will, even when we don't fully understand the path ahead. Consider the story of Noah. God instructed him to build an ark, a seemingly impossible task in a world that had never seen rain. Noah's obedience, despite the doubts and ridicule he surely faced, saved him and his family from the flood. This act of obedience became a testament to God's faithfulness and a beacon of hope for generations to come. Obedience requires courage. It demands that we step outside of our comfort zones, confront our fears, and trust in something bigger than ourselves. But the rewards are immeasurable. When we choose obedience, we open ourselves up to miracles, provision, and a depth of relationship with God that we could never experience otherwise. A single act of obedience can have a ripple effect, impacting not only our own lives but also the lives of those around us and generations to come. Like a stone dropped into a still pond, its impact spreads outward, creating ever-widening circles of influence. Imagine a young man who chooses to forgive someone who has wronged him, even though it's difficult. His act of obedience to God's command to forgive creates a ripple effect. His family witnesses his compassion and learns the power of forgiveness. His community is touched by his grace and begins to heal from past hurts. Obedience is contagious. When we choose to walk in obedience to God, our actions inspire and encourage others to do the same. We become living examples of God's love, grace, and power, leaving a legacy that extends far beyond our own lifetimes. The Bible speaks of God's blessings extending to 1,000 generations for those who love Him and keep His commands. Obedience is not just about our own personal growth, it's about partnering with God to release His blessings upon our families, communities, and the world. When we live lives of obedience, we are sowing seeds of righteousness that will bear fruit for generations to come. Our children and grandchildren will reap the harvest of our faithfulness. We are creating a legacy of blessing, paving the way for future generations to experience God's love, favor, and protection in profound ways. Obedience is not a burden, but a privilege. It is the key to unlocking God's promises and releasing His blessings in our lives and the lives of those we love. Choose obedience today and watch in awe as God works through you to accomplish His extraordinary purposes.